Shalom, this is Chanaksha Anban Yasha from the Lions in the Yasha camp. First and foremost, I'd like to say Kal Halayim La Yahweh, Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba Hashem Harakak Wadash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to the Arkham that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth, and peace and blessing to the men, women, and children. I believe in the name of Yahweh Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai. Alright, right here I have a picture or image of what King James really looked like. Well, a couple weeks ago we had one of the devils from Valiant Baptist Church walk up on us, and he asked us what Bible were we using, and when we said the King, because we were disputing the letter J not being in the Bible, and his rebuttal was, how come there's no letter J's when it's a King James Bible? And which is a very pretty good, decent point. I understand what you're saying, but King James wasn't originally his name. All right, and so I'm gonna just get into that a little bit, and then and explain what James means, and where it came from. All right, Lord willing, it's edifying, and and it serves its purpose. But I'm gonna get a couple scriptures real quick. Because the world thinks that King James, there's so many interpretations, or for lack of better words, about King James. Some people say he was a homosexual, which that was a lie. I'm gonna get into a letter that he wrote to his son, and how he was kind of speaking against that, and so that's X'd out. He was not a homosexual. All right. And everybody thinks that he's a so-called white man, which he's not, as you can see right here. And his name was not James. His name was Yaquab, or Jacob. It was King Jacob, not King James. All right. So this is Job chapter 9, verse 24. It says, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" So you had during the Renaissance period what they call the rebirth of what? The rebirth of the Edomite nation, so-called white men. All right, Caucasians. And they went around whitewashing everything and putting their images up on everything to make themselves look like they're the salt. They're, the salt of the earth. But the salt of the earth is the children of Israel. So they went around covering up everything that we did and placing their face on it as if they did it. Now they're claiming to be the children of Israel, the Jews, and claiming that we're nothing. Like we're the bottom feeders, All right, so this is part of that. Part of them doing that by changing the image of King James to look like a so-called white man. All right, this is 1 Maccabees chapter 3, verse 48. It says, okay. All right, it says, 1 Maccabees 3 and 48 says, "And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images." So they were going to our Bible, right, and creating their own laws and changing the images of the saints for them to look like them, and that's what one of the things they were doing during the Renaissance period. And who else? Yahweh Shai. They changed his name to a slave name, right? Because that's what Esau does. He changes names and things like that, and gives us slave names while he takes the noble names. He sets himself up to be a noble, the noble one. But the children of Israel the ones that believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua are the noble ones. All right, this is an article I looked up. It says the Black King James. First of all, the Israelite King James, because we're not black. No matter what we do, Esau always tries to tie us into that whole black color thing, man. There's not a white man on this earth. There's not a black man on this earth. All right, you know, there are some real dark individuals, but black is the term they want to tie to us and make us so we dead and void, you know. All right, so King James, full name, James Charles Stewart. That's not his name. His name was Yaquam. It says, born June 19th in Edinburgh Castle, Scotland, died March 1625 at the age of 59. It says, father Henry Stewart, mother Mary Stewart. Says she was put to death in 1567 for approval of the assassination of her former husband, Henry Stewart, ruled during the Dark Ages. This is the Byzantine Empire. This is when we were ruling. All right, everybody knows during the Byzantine Empire, Jake was ruling. After ruling Scotland for 36 years, he was the first to rule over Scotland and England in 1603. The name England is derived from the Old English name England, which means land of the angels. The Angles were one of the Germanic tribes that settled in Great Britain during the early Middle Ages. I don't know how much about that, but it says, were also the word Saxon, which means angelic son of Isaac. All right. It says, Exodus 3 and 6, King James Version says, moreover, he said, I don't want to get into all that. Okay, I'll read it anyway. It says, King James Version, moreover, he said, I am the power of thy father, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon Yahweh. Okay, I don't know why they put that in there. But... oh, okay, I guess. Oh, okay, I see. Man, that's crazy. That's the spirit. Because his name is Jacob. In the English, his name would be Jacob, King Jacob version. And so basically they're saying Anglo-Saxon means angels of Isaac. Oh, okay. So, all right, that makes sense. Because the son of Isaac is Jacob, who is Israel, the children of Israel. All right, I get it. All right. It says, also the book when Scotland was Jews also proves not only King James was a black man, but he comes from the line of King David. It also states that the black and Hispanics in Americas were found with the same haplotype gene as King James. Or we already know through not even through in his genealogy, but we know through the spirit faith, or that they're Israelites too. It says in King James' early years he was kidnapped. Well, basically that was the point. The point being, he being the son of son of Isaac, meaning Jacob, but he was an Israelite and he was a Protestant that went against the Catholic Church. He went against the Catholic Church. All right. All right, this is another article I found on the name James. It says, HuffPost. It says, James, the meaning, origin, and other facts about the name. All right. The name James is the English translation of the Latin name Iacomas, which was derived from the New Testament Greek form of the Hebrew name Yaakov or Jacob, which means supplanter. In the New Testament, two of Yahushua's apostles were named James. To distinguish one from another, they were given titles James the Greater and James the Lesser. Another James is also mentioned in the Bible as the brother of Yahushua. The name James experienced a large surge in popularity in the 17th century when the Scottish King James the Sixth inherited the English throne, and as James I became the first ruler of England and Scotland, the King James Bible printed during his reign in his honor. All right, so that states basically right there that his name was Jacob, Yaquab in the Hebrew, in the Proto Hebrew, it's First Hebrew. All right, so it would be the King Yaquab Bible, the King Jacob Bible, right? Because his name wasn't James. See, and that Esau does stuff like that just to try to cover their trail. All right, because they're trying to hide the truth. That's all they do because he's a liar. He's been a liar from the beginning. All right, and this is a book called the Basilicon Doron, and in this book has letters that King Jacob, or King Yaquam wrote to his son. Letters that he wrote to his son, and the things that he said in his letter just really kills the argument of him being a homosexual. All right. It says the Basilicon Doron is a treatise of government written by King James VI of Scotland, who later became as well James I of England. All right. In 1599, Greek language royal gift, it is written in the form of a letter to the king's eldest son, Henry, Duke of Rothesay, born in 1594 after Henry's death in 1612. After Henry's death in 1612, James gave it to his second son, Charles, born in 1600. Later, King Charles I, seven copies of it were printed in Edinburgh in 1599, and it was republished in London in 1603 when it sold in the thousands. The document was separated into 3 books, serving as general guidelines to follow to be an effective monarch. The first describes a king's duty towards Yahweh as a Christian. At that time, okay, so to be a Christian, he's meaning being an Israelite. That's what he's talking about, being an Israelite. It says the second focuses on the roles and responsibilities of the office, and third, the concerns of proper behavior in daily life. As the first part is concerned with being a good so-called Christian, being an Israelite, James instructed his son to love and respect Yahweh as well as fear him. All right? And they don't teach that in churches. So he was talking about Israelites, talking about being an Israelite, not no Christian like how you see today. All right? It says, furthermore, it is essential to carefully study the scripture, the Bible. All right? This is what King James is telling his son to do. And what do you have? The first 5 books of Moses. Those are the books they call those the book of the law. So there's no way he could be a heathen or a homosexual because what he was teaching to study the scriptures and to worship Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right. It says furthermore, it is essential to carefully study the scriptures, the Bible, and especially specific books in both the Old and New Testament. So you know, so he studied, he consumed the whole roll. He commissioned to have it translated. And he had scholars come and translate it. You can read the prologue of Sirach. And when they talk about, they go, I'm not gonna get it because it's kind of long. But you read the prologue of Sirach, it goes into the scholars that were anointed to be the ones to translate to make the King 1611. All right. It says, lastly, he must pray often and always be thankful for what Yahweh has given him. All right. So let's go down to some of these key things that were said in the letter. So that just goes to show that, and Esau especially Esau Christianity, Esau are pagans. They're idol worshippers, right? So during the Council of Nicaea, Constantine the Great, which was a Jake, he took the scriptures and merged the truth with paganism, to appease the public, So in order for King James, he was strictly going according to the law. That's why he said Old and New Testament, and he was teaching about understanding Yahweh, understanding the scriptures. And that's the first thing he said that comes first in learning how to be a king. And that's the same thing that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is setting us up for, to learn how to be kings and priests. All right. It says, all right, let's get to these key bullet points that are found in the letter. It says, a good monarch must be well acquainted with his subjects, and therefore it would be wise to visit each of the kingdoms in every 3-year period. All right. During war, he should choose old but good captains to lead an army composed of young and agile soldiers. All right. It says, in the court. No, that's not what I want. All right. Let's get to this one right here. It says, lastly, it is most important to James that his son would know well his own craft, which is properly governed over his subjects. What is it? Hold on, I'm trying to find the one where he All right, this is it. All right. The final portion of the Basilican Duran focuses on the daily life of a monarch. For instance, James advised his son to eat and be strong for traveling and during wartime. He must also beware not to drink and sleep excessively. Furthermore, his wardrobe always be clean and proper, and must never allow his hair and nails to grow long. And that's it. So basically, he was trying to tell his son not to be effeminate, man. Not to be feminine, man. So basically, like his King Yaquab's guidelines to being a great monarch was basically inspired from the scriptures, from the truth, man. Okay? So that just breaks down who King James was, a so-called black man who they say he was a Judite. From the looks of it, he was a Judite. All right, and he fought for us, and he against the Catholic Church to have what we have now, what we use out here as our weapon, the King James Version with the Apocrypha in it. You know, the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua put the spirit on him for him to be the vessel that gave us the opportunity to do what we're doing here today, man. So that was it on it. You know, I just wanted to get a little breakdown on who King Yaquab, because that's his real name, who he really was and some of the things that he was about. All right, with that being, Lord willing, I hope this lesson was edifying and served its purpose for the hopeful elect. And I would like to say, Kal Halayim La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Harakakwadash, my mom. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth, and peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Shalom.